Hey guys, it's Maymay and welcome back to another Scripture Art Journal week. And this week's scripture is from John 14:6, and it says, I am the way, the truth, and the life. And it finishes to say, and no man comes to the Father except through me. I love this scripture, and one of the reasons I love it is because so many times in our world, people think there are, multiple ways to come to Christ, or just being a good person gets you into heaven, or all those different ways that people think you can get to heaven. And I have been taught my entire life there's one way to heaven, and that is through Jesus. And this scripture is one that I lean on so much, because when all else around us seems confusing, we can know that Jesus is the only way and the only thing we need. As long as we have Jesus, we're in good shape. And so I love this scripture, and it reminds us of that. Now, here's what I'm going to do. I have been working a lot in silhouettes this week, and for some reason when I thought about this, I thought this would be really neat to have a silhouette of Jesus on one side and then this on the other. So I found this online, and it was actually the full silhouette that I found online, but I did a screenshot of it and just took the portion that I wanted for my page, and so that's why it's kind of half of him and not the whole thing. Now I'm going to do some fussy cutting, and I like to cut with my scissors, so this will be kind of fun. And I just did this on regular old printer paper. One reason I do a lot with printer paper is because it keeps my book from getting too thick. Because if I'm going to do layers of things, printer paper is a good way to keep the thickness down. I appreciate all you guys outpouring last week with my testimony, and how many of you guys were interested in hearing that. That has been awesome. And because of that, I've gotten a little behind in responding to all of those emails, but I'm doing the best I can. So if you hadn't heard from me yet, you will. I'm still responding and sending out the testimony to everybody. Because if you didn't get to read it on Facebook, I want you to get to see it. If you're interested in reading it, it is posted on Facebook. The best thing to do is go to Hide His Word in My Heart on Facebook, which will be linked below. And just do a little search maybe for Maymay Testimony, and that'll probably pull that up for you pretty quick and easy. Otherwise, if you're interested in read it, just send me an email and I'll get it to you. Now, if this is your first time to our scripture art journaling, what we do is we take a new scripture every week and we art journal it in our journal books that we just created on our own. And we memorize the scriptures. So by the end of the year, it's hard for me to talk and cut at the same time. By the end of the year, we will have 52 scriptures memorized. And like I said, this week's is John 14:6. I'm the way and the truth and life, and no one comes to the Father except through me. I'm going to cut some of this big paper away. And keep on cutting here. It doesn't have to be absolutely perfect, but because I did this on the computer and I'm not going to be able to kind of touch this up with a black marker. You know, if you're doing cardstock or something, you can kind of run around it with a black marker and clean up your edges. I'm not going to be able to do that on this because of this paper. If I do that, it's going to look funny because my ink is not perfectly black. So that'll be a little bit of an issue, but not too bad. Now, when I first showed you that, you might have thought that was going to be really difficult to cut out, but it really wasn't. It was very simple, so now you can see it is the silhouette there. And now I'm going to cut this piece out, and I'm not sure how I want to do it. I kind of have this thing that I lean to a lot. I call it like a bubble, or just kind of a wavy bubble. And here's what I do. I just kind of take my scissors around an object, and I just kind of cut in waves. It doesn't really matter. Just kind of move the scissors back and forth to get, I don't know, just kind of a bubbly shape. And I just kind of enjoy this this look that I will get from this. I'll show you once I'm finished. And see, I'm just wiggling the scissors to get this shape. The trick is to wiggle the scissors as you slice them so you don't get little choppy lines. You actually get smooth, wavy lines. Okay, so see, so now we have kind of a little bubble. So it's not just a straight piece. And this is what I'm looking for. It's not really so much to look like a caption bubble necessarily, but just kind of want it on the page in that corner. Now the other thing is, my book pages are kind of a cream color, and I don't want this to be on cream. I want it to be on white. So I'm going to go ahead and put it on some white cardstock. Just glue it to the white cardstock and then stick that into my book. So here's some white cardstock. I've really been working a lot with silhouettes this week because I've been working on my logo for Maymay Made It, and we decided, when I say we, me and my husband, we decided to use a silhouette graphic And so I've had to create a silhouette, and I've been working with it, and they've just kind of really caught me this week. I don't know. I thought this would be a neat way too for me to remember kind of what I was doing this week, because I'm using a silhouette here. I wonder if it'll bring that back to mind. It might. It may not. My glue clogged up. I was just using it. This is how fast this stuff dries. I was just doing some little practice videos for next week. Next week is going to be Father's Day week on my in my crafting portion of Maymay Made It, and so I was working on some videos for that, and I was just using this, and I didn't put the pen back in, and I know better, so I had to unclog it, just using the pen, and just kind of crammed it down in there a couple times, and that worked. This is the art glitter glue, by the way, that I'm talking about. I love it because I can get really close to places, and it will stick down really quick and really well. This is going to go in this far corner, and I want it to kind of meld into that corner as if he were coming out of the corner, you know, like standing in the corner of the page, maybe we could say it like that. Got a little ink on the page, and I might have to kind of clean that up, but I'm sure I can do it. If I can't, imperfection is good enough. I don't have to have perfect, but I'm going to see if I can. I've got one of those adhesive erasers. Let's see if this guy will do it. Now, I think I should probably cut. Have you ever used one of these guys? They're like those little rubber eraser things. See what it looks like? Sometimes they say you should cut the corners before you use them on white, or cut off what you've used in the past, because it'll kind of leave some dirt if you don't. Let's just see if that'll take care of it. I think that's as good as we're going to get it, and I'm not going to worry about it too much more than that. That's good enough. Okay, now I want to trim this page. This is an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper, and my journal is 8.5 by 11. And what I've been doing is trimming about 1/4 of an inch off on 2 sides to kind of let it sit in a little bit. I seem like I get a better turn of the page that way. So I'm going to trim this down, and I'm going to trim it from the outside. And this is, I'm going to do this before I put on the scripture, because that way I'll know I'll have plenty of room. From the outside and from the top. So that way I won't have to put this picture right in the seam of the book. I'll have a little room. Now I can see where this is going to go. Now I need to cut a little more. I don't want it to overlap my silhouette because I do not want it to look like a caption bubble. So I'm going to come in here and kind of do this again. This is a quick and easy way to get a decorative edge on something without having to do a whole lot of work. Just a quick, easy little technique there. And there's what I want, just like that. I also love the black and white together. I'm very into black and white with a little bit of red. Most people know that about me. Very into it. I love it. We had Vacation Bible School this week, so I got to see all the kids singing and dancing and having a good old time at church. It was so nice. And this reminds me a lot of Vacation Bible School too, because I think the first place I ever learned these truths were in Vacation Bible School. You know, especially songs about I am the way and the truth and the life. I just love all those little songs and things. Let me get my journal. So this is my book, and we're going to put this one in. The book is getting very full. Remember this one? I love it. Okay, so this one's going to go on this side. This is another thing I really love about this, is using the different, how different each page is. I love that, and this page is just striking to me. I love the dark versus the light. I can't decide what I want to use to put it down. I'm going to use the wet glue because that'll give me a second to move it around if I need to. Okay, get that rubbed in good. I love that. Isn't that simple and easy? But I think it is very striking. Now, like I said, I found this image online. I just did a search for Jesus silhouette, and that's how I found this one. And so if you want to do something similar to what I did here, that's how I would do it. Just do a little search. And I don't remember where I got it from because I got it a little while ago, but really, there were so many of them, I just chose this one. So you'll be able to find that. I even got this online. I just put in the verse and just kind of looked around until I saw one that I liked. So I just borrowed from someone else. I'm just putting this in my journal for me to keep. So there you go. Would you guys like a little walk down memory lane since this one wasn't very long today? Let's go back and look. It's been a while. I haven't even looked through it in a while. Look at that, the very first one. Do you guys remember doing that one? As we go through, tell me the ones you remember doing or which ones strike you. Ugh, I remember them. That's so cool because it's been, as I look at the pages, I remember what I was doing when I did those, when I did these pages. Look at that. I like it. This one. There's my heaven scene. See all the glitter? It's supposed to be heavenly. And then this is, I think this is still probably one of my favorites, this one. I still say I'm going to do a canvas like this, and I'm going to do it one day. This one I love too because it was with pieces from my friends that had sent me. I love that one. Jeremiah 29:11. I just look at it and know which one it is, which is super cool. This is Isaiah 26:3. Remember this? It's still missing. Gosh, I'm so bad about that. I've got to do that one. Well, don't remind me. I'll do it. I was going to say somebody remind me, but I'll do it. I just have not been inspired by it. I need to go back to it. Oh, I remember this one at Easter. The little dogwoods that I cut out on the Cricut. That was super cool. I remember that one. And this one because it has to do with cooking. Remember this one? Psalm 107:9. And then the butterflies. I love these. So pretty. The Lord is our shepherd. Is this one? Y'all like how I pet them? This is the cross that the cross. This is the steeple that I paper pieced together. This needs to be a canvas too. I say I'm going to do it. I'm going to get to it. And these were, and I remember these are the weeks where I was catching up and they were not quite as detailed, not like I normally do them. I love this one. This one is really cool. And then of course, my one with my testimony in the envelope. I love that one. And then today's. So that was a little walk down memory lane. So, another question I've had from you guys is where I got my journal from and how is it holding up. It's okay. Do you see the binder? It's going to grow, but I don't really know any way around that unless you use a spiral bound. You could use a spiral bound one, but I had this one on hand and I didn't want to buy another one. You know, so my next one, I think I will try a spiral bound for next year, but this one's going to last me this year. Or at least I think it is. I still got a bunch of pages left in there. But I got this one at Joann's. It was a Christmas present from Vince. I picked it out and he bought it. It was just an art journal. And I don't think it has a name anywhere on it. It doesn't, which is really weird that a manufacturer would make a book and not put a name on it. But there's no name. It must have had a sticker and we bought it. So that's it, guys. That's this week's scripture. Let's flip back to it. So, John 14:6, I am the way, the truth, and the life, and no man comes to the Father except through me. And I just love it. Thanks so much for joining me again this week, guys. I will catch you guys next week for more scripture journaling. Be sure to head over to our Facebook page and join our group so we can see your art journaling pictures. And I look forward to talking to you soon. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.